Tonight's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink, is live at Teatro Explanada in Puebla for BKFC Fight Night Mexico with a stacked 10-bout card. In the bantamweight division, it's Jose Lopez from here in Mexico versus the Venezuelan Juan Campos. Our co-main event, set for the cruiserweight division, Julian Fernandez versus Lino Sanchez. And our main event at bantamweight, Rodolpho Rubio versus Luis Ray Gallegos. Hey everyone, with Chris Lights Out Lytle, I'm Sean Wheelock. Chris, this is of course our first time for BKFC in Mexico since February 2019. You fought on that card, defeating JC Llamas by unanimous decision.
And Sean, he was a tough competitor, and there's a lot of tough competitors there that night. The main difference this time is all the competitors are from Latin America. And why are we doing that? Because they have exactly what we think it takes to make it in BKFC. They're hard-nosed, they're tough, they come to fight. That's the main thing. We want people who come to fight. They're going to have their opportunity tonight to prove they're ready to make it in BKFC.
Rodolpho Rubio versus Luis Ray Gallegos is our main event. It's set at 135 pounds. Chris, these are two very accomplished pro MMA fighters from here in Mexico. Both men tonight are making their BKFC debut.
Debut here, but they've a lot of MMA experience. Rubio has fought in the UFC. That's very high. Luis not quite to that level yet, but he's done fantastic. This is going to be a great fight because they have very different styles.
BKFC uses the unified rules of bare knuckle fighting administered this evening by the Mexico Professional MMA Commission. Punching in the active clinch is allowed. There is no 3 knockdown rule. All kicks, knees, and elbows are illegal, as are all takedowns and submissions. We open tonight with a bout in the flyweight division. Our tale of the tape is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink for Marcelo Antonio Perez versus Nicolas Diaz.
And you see here, Sean, exact same height at 5'4". Perez does have a significant 3-inch reach advantage he's going to want to utilize in this fight.
Nicolas Diaz from here in Puebla, Mexico, set for his BKFC debut. Overall in the sport of bare knuckle, this will be fight number 3 for Diaz.
And Sean, experience is everything, especially in bare knuckle. This guy's been out there, done that, understands what it's like to be hit with a bare knuckle. That can be huge. Usually when we have that, they try and come out and jump on the opponent right away, because a lot of times the guys that have been hit with the bare knuckle, they get hit once like, whoa, this isn't what I thought. So that's a good strategy. Try and get out there, get off first, try and land a big punch and see how your opponent reacts. Sometimes they're going to fold, other times you're just going to inspire them to fight harder. So you got to be careful once you land that punch, but always take that chance and try and get in there, land that first punch and get that quick knockout.
This is the BKFC debut for Marcelo Antonio Perez. Like his opponent in this flyweight bout, Nicolas Diaz, Perez from here in Puebla, Mexico. Unlike Diaz, Perez has not had a previous bare knuckle fight in or out of our promotion.
And that can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. Like I said, you get hit that first time with a bare knuckle and you go, oh, I don't like this at all. This is not what I thought. But sometimes people get in and they fall to, just like a fish into the water, Sean. They're natural, they swim. Let's see if Perez can swim when he gets out there.
BKFC Fight Night Mexico from here in Puebla. To get us started, we send it to ring announcer Felipe De Maria.
Buenas noches, Puebla. ¿Cómo estás? Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Teatro Explanada in Puebla, Mexico for the presentation of Knuckle Fighting Championship Fight Night Puebla. Tonight, in the main event, inside the BKFC Bantamweight Division, Rodolpho Rubio versus Luis Ray Gallegos. Señoras y señores, estamos en vivo desde Teatro Explanada en Puebla, México, para la presentación de Knuckle Fighting Championship Fight Night Puebla. Esta noche, en el combate estelar dentro de la división de peso gallo de BKFC, Rodolpho Rubio en contra de Luis Ray Gallegos. And now, the first fight of the night. It's 5 2-minute rounds inside the flyweight division. El primer combate de la noche es a 5 asaltos de 2 minutos en la categoría de peso mosca de BKFC. And this fight is brought to you by. Este combate es llevado a ustedes por Backed Up Energy Drink. Presenting now. Presentando primero en la esquina roja. Haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC. Una altura de 1,62 metros, peso oficial 126 libras. Presenting now on the red corner, making his BKFC debut. His stance 5 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 126 pounds. Fighting straight out of Ciudad de Mexico, he is Nicolás el Inquebrantable DIAZ. Su oponente en la esquina azul, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, con una altura de 1,62 metros, peso oficial 124.5 libras. Presenting now on the blue corner, making his BKFC debut. His stance 5 feet 4 inches tall and official weight 124.5 pounds. Fighting straight out of Puebla, México, is Marcelo Antonio PEREZ. The third inside the square circle, Edgar Lopez.
Edgar Lopez, one of the top professional boxing referees here in Mexico, making his BKFC debut in this flyweight fight. Both fighters brought up to scratch, 3 feet apart. Round number 1. Black trunks for Marcelo Antonio PEREZ. Yellow trunks for Nicolás Diaz. There's the left hand, immediately to the inside. Heavy pressure on the start for Diaz.
See that guillotine attempt.
Left hook, both fighters in the center circle. There's the right hand. That sends PEREZ along the ropes. It's high and tight for Marcelo Antonio PEREZ. The right hand to get on the clinch. Good turn from PEREZ. Stiff jab from Diaz.
And you can tell already Diaz wants to be the aggressor, looking to get off first.
Swing and a miss from PEREZ. Naked right hand, then the left hook. That was clever. 2-3 combination on the entry for Nicolás Diaz. Back to the jab. 105 remaining, round number 1. Jab right back from PEREZ. 2 counter on the right hand. Slide walk forward pressure. Again, there's that long extended jab.
It's a very good jab for PEREZ. He's putting a lot of power into it. He wants to make sure if he's throwing a punch, he's going to do damage.
Diaz walking forward again. Almost a bolo punch with the rear right hand from Marcelo Antonio PEREZ. On the left hand on the turn. Rear right uppercuts. Those are landing flush into the half tie plum.
Good dirty boxing by both guys.
Overhand left, that's on the separation. Getting late here in round number 1, we're in the flyweight division. High tight striking guard continues on the back step for Perez. Left hand.
And Diaz is just letting his opponent get way too close. He needs to start throwing some punches a little quicker, a little earlier. He's letting Diaz is letting Perez get way too close before he starts throwing punches. He's not backing him away. There's no threat.
We are headed to round 2. See to the corner of Marcelo Antonio Perez.
Some of that early work, that pushing his opponent back, throwing hard right hands. Good combination, man, right there. You talked about that right hand followed with the left hook.
Seconds out call by referee Edgar Lopez. Fighters back up to scratch. Round number 2. To the jab for Nicolas Diaz. Pushes on the right hand. And a miss with the right hand from Marcelo Antonio Perez. Overhand right, that sends Diaz backwards.
Diaz switched up to southpaw.
Perez continuing to stay with that very high, tight striking guard, taking himself against the ring ropes. Try to do that, counter with the right hand.
Just waiting to counter the entire time. That's a dangerous strategy. You have to be very good at countering if you want to wait and counter at BKFC.
Jab landed by Diaz. Big swing and a miss. You see Perez dipping his head, throwing that right hand.
Diaz does his best work when he comes forward and throws multiple punches. Just throwing one at a time. It's not really serving him. He wants to throw combinations. That jab followed by that straight right.
Walk forward pressure now for Nicolas Diaz. 50 seconds remaining round number 2. Diaz heavy on the feint. There's the jab, then the check left hand. Check hook thrown and landed by Diaz.
Perez is backing into the corner. He's just trying to draw his opponent in so he can counter with those overhand rights.
Big step in on the jab. That left hand landed clean. On the right hand, another big left hand. Nicolas Diaz now turning up the temperature.
Perez has a very good chin.
Perez taking some big shots and walking through them. Waved forward by Diaz. You hear the 10-second clock very late here in round number 2. Punch on the forehead of Perez.
Perez having trouble getting into the range.
Right hand late.
Perez is
negated by Edgar Lopez, and we go to round 3.
Perez's best parts has been his ability to counter, but when he stands outside, he's a target. That's why it's very good when Diaz gets in, throws a couple punches and gets right back out. If he can continue to do that, he's not going to get hit at all. Perez needs to start pushing the pace a little bit. He can't just sit there and wait to counter, because if so, you're really counting on landing that one good shot. Beautiful counter left jab. Just waited for that overhand right. He knows it's coming. He knows his opponent's going to duck. Throw that big right hand. If you can counter it, you're going to land. His hands are not in position. After he throws that right hand, you cannot block. You know, the left side of your face, the right side of your face is wide open.
Set for round number 3 in the flyweight division. 2 fighters from here in Puebla, Mexico. Marcelo Antonio Perez, Nicolas Diaz. First up to scratch Diaz, now Perez up to scratch. Round number 3 underway, and full pressure off the scratch from Marcelo Antonio Perez.
And that's the first time we've seen him step forward.
Long up jab from Diaz. Lever on the 2, switch of stances. Let's turn that 2 into a 1 on the switch of stances.
Perez is coming forward, but he's just waiting to counter still. He's waiting for the other opponent to throw a punch, and then he tries to counter. instead of trying to get off first, push his opponent backwards. A lot of people cannot fight well going off their back foot.
Marcelo Antonio Perez has continued to use that very high, tight striking guard.
And what we haven't seen from either one of these combatants, Sean, is trying to target the body. Both guys have their hands up pretty high. It'd be good to see the body work.
Some swelling around the right eye of Perez. To the body not there. He is now taking himself backwards. Heavy on the feint. There's the up jab. That was effective. Jab to the body. 60 seconds remaining, round 3.
Perez having that very boxing-like guard with those hands up. That's great when you have gloves. There's no gloves to block, so that up jab is working beautifully.
There's the jab to the body, jab to the head. Right hook on the entry. Hard comes Marcelo Antonio Perez. That guillotine position again, immediately drawing the separation from referee Edgar Lopez. 5 seconds remaining, round 3.
And the blood is starting to flow from Perez, so let's see if Diaz really steps up, try to target that area that's bleeding, make it open up a little bit more.
The right hand ruled a slip immediately by referee Edgar Lopez. Closing stages, round number 3. See the cut between the eyebrows on the face of Marcelo Antonio Perez. There is the bell as we move to round 4.
The most significant thing that's happened there, that cut. Let's see if Diaz really starts to target that. Notice he has a cut. He wants to make that open bigger. If that blood's really flowing, it might get into his opponent's eyes and make it difficult. For the first time, I think we felt like Perez has a little bit more of a sense of urgency. He was pushing the pace, but he would just get right in front of his opponent and just sit there with that guard up and wait for his opponent to throw punches so he could counter. Hasn't been effective at this point, so he might want to try a different strategy. Pushing forward, pushing his opponent backward, trying to get off first, throw punches, work that body.
Seconds out. Let's go. Seconds out. Let's go.
You heard the call of seconds out. Set for round number 4. Toe the line, then knuckle up emphatically by referee Edgar Lopez, and round 4 underway. As he did to start round number 3, more pressure from Marcelo Antonio Perez. Perez taking himself backwards from the center circle. He is on the jab, hook jab getting through. Stiff jab again. Chris, he is starting to really land that up jab.
Like I said, he sees the opening from that boxing guard that Perez is trying to use. It leaves openings, though. You don't have gloves to block.
See the smear of blood on the face of Marcelo Antonio Perez that opened up in round 3, flowing freely here in round 4.
And what Diaz is doing well, he's throwing that jab and is waiting for Perez to counter with that right hand, then he's throwing a second jab.
Jab to the body, that was parried. He's looking for the hook. 5 remaining, round 4. Marcelo Antonio Perez trying to counter. Trying to counter so much, he's just not throwing a lot of punches in this fight.
I mean, Diaz is being awkward, unpredictable, and that makes it very difficult to counter.
There's that up jab again from Nicolas Diaz. The overhand right, that was on the shoulder. Now 4 comes Marcelo Antonio Perez.
Diaz has been so left-hand dominant this round. He continues to throw jabs, hooks. You get the feeling he's trying to set up that right hand. As soon as he throws that right hand, it should be over.
Fighters back in the center circle. 25 seconds remaining, round 4. Right hand literally running out of the pocket, Nicolas Diaz to reset.
Wanted nothing to do with that right to the body.
Jab once more. The duck under from Perez. Naked right hand, the 2-1, the hook to the body just before the bell as we move to the 5th and final round.
I mean, more of the same at that round. Sean Diaz doing a very good job of laying that jab, getting out of the way once Perez starts throwing those counter right hands. Even to the point where he's running sometimes, not getting hit, that's a good thing. That was a beautiful job right there. Threw the jab, waited for the right hand, and countered with another jab. Must have heard me talking about working the body because he threw left hand at the body there. He got away.
Looks as though we will have a medical timeout before the start of round number 5. The Chief Medical Officer of BKFC, Dr. Don Ruzzi, has made the trip to Puebla, Mexico. He is on the ring apron.
Seconds out. Seconds out.
Obviously went to look at that cut over the right eye. Perez.
So there's time called by referee guard Lopez. Nicolas Diaz seems a bit confused or bemused. Now sent to the neutral part of the BKFC ring. Clearance from Dr. Muzzi.
Well, that didn't
now
take
round
long.
number 5.
I like it when the doctor doesn't need much time. He looked at it and said, it's fine. This is bare knuckle, let's go.
Stiff jab again.
Diaz has done a good job of making those jabs count. Sometimes you have a range-finding jab, sometimes you have a power jab. That's definitely designed to do damage.
It's that power up jab from the low stance that Nicolas Diaz has really been landing that, especially since round number 3.
It comes from an odd angle. You use the jabs coming straight forward. When that jab comes up, it's just not a normal angle. Anything different, it's like a change-up in baseball. It's just different. You're not used to seeing it, so it's hard to defend.
Perez back to his high, tight striking guard. Ooh. That's a serious up jab. Almost a lead hook, rather a lead uppercut.
Again, he's definitely finding a home for that punch.
Same punch 3 times in a row. Hook to the body now from Marcelo Antonio Perez into the clinch.
Diaz is doing such a good job of landing that. I want to see him follow that up with the right hand.
Perez coming forward again with 50 seconds remaining in this fight. The flick jab from Nicolas Diaz. To the mid-range, Perez to the clinch. And right on the exit, not there. Getting very late now in this fight. Perez perhaps sensing a bit of urgency.
So this is definitely a more methodical fight than you would think for 2 guys at this weight class. Usually these guys are throwing a lot of punches.
From the half tie plug. There is volume now from Perez. Pointing to the center circle, Nicolas Diaz saying, let's stand and trade. Saying so again in Spanish. That is the end of the fight.
Have you noticed since Max Holloway did that, I think every fight somebody's got to do. Is it mandatory now? Do you have to?
Feels to be mandatory.
Fight is over. I have to say the way I saw it, but you know, Sean, I'm not always right. Let's see how these judges looked at this fight.
Our judges have been assigned by the Mexico Professional Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Assisted this evening by Mike Mazzulli, the president of the ABC, the head of the Mohegan tribe.
Now, usually the judges will base it on a couple different criteria. A lot of times whoever's a busier fighter, whoever's pushing the pace, whoever's ring generalship. I felt like Diaz won all of those aspects, so I have to think he won. But like I said, I've been wrong before. Very creative with those up jabs. He definitely controlled the pace, decided when and where the fight was going to happen, landed the cleaner, harder shots, I felt.
We saw a lot of forward pressure from Marcelo Antonio Perez, but he was coming forward without throwing punches as he was trying to time his counters.
He would get in position, push forward, wait for his opponent to throw the punch and try to counter with that right hand. The problem was Diaz wasn't there to get hit. And Perez didn't step forward. He would just wait. Once that punch was thrown, he would throw that right hand without taking steps forward. You can do that, but you need to step forward, a couple little shuffle steps, get into range and land that right hand.
We send it to Felipe De Maria.
Dejes de creer, papá.
Señoras y señores, después de 5 asaltos nos vamos a las tarjetas de los jueces. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone the distance, and after 5 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. All judges score the fight 50-45 to declare the winner by unanimous decision to Nicolás el Inquebrantable Diaz.
And no surprise there, Sean. He was able to control the range, the pace, the distance, pretty much all aspects, land the harder punches. Good fight for Diaz.
Nicolás Diaz, successful in his BKFC debut. Got his jab going, especially got his up jab going. Marcelo Antonio Perez continued to come forward at points in this fight, but he looked to counter, he just could not get off with his counters. The winner, by way of unanimous decision, Nicolás Diaz defeats Marcelo Antonio Perez.
The world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is back with another explosive night of fights. In the main event, Keegan Vandermeer tries to get back to his winning ways when he scraps with a powerhouse who hasn't lost a fight in 2 years, Sawyer DP. In the co-main event, 2 unbeaten titans collide, but only one can emerge victorious as Andrew Strode knuckles up with Dom the Bomb Carey. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com. Friday, June 21st, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is back with 3 world titles on the line. In the main event, 2 unbeaten titans collide when Kai Heftybag Stewart defends his featherweight championship against the hard-hitting Cuban warrior Brian El Gallo Duran. Plus, 2 more undefeated warriors fight as Keith Rockstar Richardson defends his bantamweight gold against the quickly rising Alberto Blas. Also, Jared Warren and Jomi Escobosa throw down for the vacant light heavyweight championship. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
In the bantamweight division, Jose Lopez versus Juan Campos. Our tale of the tape is presented by OnlyFans.
Once again, Sean, these guys nearly identical. 1 inch height difference, 1 inch reach difference, not very much from the tail to tape. He's done well for us. I think it's an untapped resource we need to really tap into. That's what we're trying to do. There's so many tough fighters out there. I'm glad we're really starting to focus on that. With the tricolor, the flag of his native Mexico, the
fighter from Mexico City, Jose Lopez, now set for his bare knuckle fighting championship debut. Lopez has had 14 pro MMA bouts.
So, pro debut for bare knuckle, but same thing. 14, not as many as 28 when it comes to the MMA career, but 14, considerable amount. He should have a lot of experience out there. Understand range, tempo, distance. 14 is enough to make yourself a good fighter. Let's see how this fight plays out. Two guys with a lot of fight experience.
Because I think many combat sports fans immediately think of Mexico as being a boxing nation, which it is, but it also has really embraced mixed martial arts, especially over the last 10 years, and now it is embracing BKFC. More fighters on this card with pro MMA experience than pro boxing experience.
And that says a lot. They've had some very good fighters out of Mexico, some UFC champs as well.
Back we go to Felipe de Maria.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 5 rounds inside the BKFC Bantamweight Division. Señoras y señores, el siguiente combate es a 5 asaltos de 2 minutos en la categoría de peso gallo de BKFC. And this fight is brought to you by, esta pelea es llevada a ustedes por OnlyFans. Presentando primero, en la esquina roja, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, con una altura de 1,65 m, peso oficial 134.5 libras. Presenting now, on the red corner, making his BKFC debut. His stance, 5 feet, 5 inches tall, and official weight, 134.5 pounds. Fighting straight out of Anzoátegui, Venezuela, is Juan Daponi Campo. Su oponente en la esquina azul, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, con una altura de 1,62 m, peso oficial 134.4 libras. Presenting now, on the black corner, making his BKFC debut, his stance, 5 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 134.4 pounds. Fighting straight out of Mexico, is José Guerrero Tolteca López. The third inside the square circle, el tercero sobre el círculo cuadrado, Edgar López.
Edgar Lopez, sending both fighters back to their respective corners. Now calling them up to scratch. Round number 1, black trunks for the fighter from Mexico, Jose Lopez. Yellow trunks for the Venezuelan, Juan Campos. Big swings to start from both men. There's the left hand getting through, and another left hand from Campos. Campos, huge shots. That sends Lopez against the ropes.
I mean, what a different start from our last fight.
Lopez, switch of stances. Southpaw to orthodox. Campos loading up that rear right hand from the ortho stance. Left hook, overhand right, left hand again. Campos is bombing with that lead left hand, Chris.
Campos is just putting his hands at his waist and just winging punches.
1:15 remaining, round number 1. Referee Edgar Lopez telling Jose Lopez, watch your head on the inside. A touch of hands right back to it. He's stepping back, throwing the right hand just off the mark.
Campos looking to counter as Lopez comes in.
Lopez staying long, trying to work the in and out motion.
You can tell Lopez feels like he has the power advantage.
Huge left hand, and that sends Juan Campos to the canvas.
Just stepped in with a good left hand. Said Campos' way to counter that snuck in. Like it was a flash knockdown.
Campos was up before 1. Takes the mandatory 8 count from Edgar Lopez, right back to it into the clinch. Good separation from Lopez. Shrugs on the inside.
Where it looks like Campos might have the power advantage, Lopez looks like he has a speed advantage.
Short right hands now on the underhook. The separation again from Lopez. Jose Lopez coming forward. Left hand again, double left hand. Lopez lost his balance just before the bell. That ends round number 1.
Very good, very entertaining first round. You can definitely see both guys' strengths. Lopez feels like he's faster, can get in and land punches and get out. Campos, when he hits you, you know he's pushing his opponent around, he's pushing him around. But you have to get in and get out. You can't sit there and just trade punches with Campos. But when you do land those punches, just like you saw right there, perfect. It's a lead left hand.
Presumably a 10-8 across the board with that knockdown from the left hand for Jose Lopez. Fast start from the Venezuelan off of scratch to this bantamweight fight, Juan Campos, but then Lopez settling in.
Okay, start the fight, right? When we start the fight, turn line. Turn line. Okay, turn line. Turn line. Knock it up. Time. Tiempo. Knock it up.
Time called by referee Edgar Lopez.
Time. Time.
Time still out.
We're good. Knock it up.
Not a medical timeout, perhaps some excess moisture on the canvas, just off of the apron. Now round number 2 starts.
You can see Lopez trying to time that entry. Campos trying to time that counter.
Heavy in the clinch. Now the separation from Lopez. Jose Lopez coming forward, lands the right hand. Campos walking through that, trying to walk through the left, lands a right of his own on the level change. Nearly looking for the blast double was Jose Lopez.
I think Campos landed a good punch, and Lopez just resorted back to his MMA background, that takedown.
There's the left hand, heavy on the inside for Juan Campos. The overhook, snatched by Jose Lopez. There's Edgar Lopez on the separation, keeping this fight moving. 1:10 remaining, round number 2. Step in jab from Jose Lopez. Feigning with the right hand and landing the left hook. There's a diversionary overhand right to land that clean left hook.
And when Campos is getting inside, he's not letting the hands go to the body. He's just putting his hands up.
Just landing that right hand, coming forward again on the left hand. Jose Lopez stepping into the clinch. Guard Lopez again with the separation. 40 seconds remaining, round 2. Slight smear of blood on the bridge of Juan Campos' nose as he takes that right hand from Jose Lopez. Lands a left hand of his own, does Juan Campos into the clinch. Exhale from Jose Lopez on the separation. Fighters having their moments, both fighters stepping in and landing power shots.
Both guys are landing good from the outside. Very little activity when they are in the clinch.
Switch of stances again from Jose Lopez, big left hand. Actually draws a smirk on the face of Juan Campos. That ends round number 2.
And that has been the best punch for Lopez when he's able to get in and land that sneaky left hook.
Juan Campos, when he took that left hand, almost smirked, almost smiled as if to say, you got me on the switch of stances and that left hand.
You can just see from this example who's punching harder. It seems like Campos hits harder, but he's not as fast, not quite as technical. He's just winging punches.
That was the left hand off of the switch of stances from Jose Lopez.
And there's that smile. You could just see he recognized that was a good punch, but you just caught me off balance. You didn't do damage. You knocked me back, but it wasn't a powerful shot that really hurt me.
Round number 3. Good sportsmanship to start the 3rd round, and now forward pressure from Jose Lopez. For forward pressure, Juan Campos taking himself back.
Lopez looking to land that overhand left again.
Left to the body, then a clipping right hand from Juan Campos. Right hand again. Bigger swings from Campos. Now to the inside goes Lopez to the body. Big left hand from Lopez, then the right hand.
Campos needs to straighten those punches out a little bit. He's too wide.
Overhand right through naked did Juan Campos. Left hand from Lopez. And the jab goes Jose Lopez. Straight right hand. Switch of stances now from orthodox to southpaw for Jose Lopez. He's been really effective in his switch of stances. Switches right back on cue. Walk down pressure now from Jose Lopez.
Campos is just really counting on landing one of these right-hand hooks, left-hand hooks that he has. He's not throwing enough straight punches.
To the clinch, the gable grip from Jose Lopez. That gets the immediate separation from referee Edgar Lopez. 50 seconds remaining, round 3. Lopez into the mid-range, misses with that right hand. On the duck under, again the clinch, again the separation from Lopez. Slight swelling now under the left eye of Jose Lopez. 5 seconds remaining, round 3. Walking through the left hand is Juan Campos to land a big right hand counter on the left hand, ruled as a slip by Edgar Lopez. Campos wanted the sportingly touched hands. Jose Lopez wanted nothing to do with that as he lands the jab. Final seconds of the 3rd round, another jab from Jose Lopez. To the body goes Juan Campos. There is the bell. We move to round 4.
And Sean, the thing I'm noticing here, look at here, Campos, these wide looping shots, and Lopez is able to punch in between them or just put the hands up where he's only taking these on the arms and shoulders, not really in the head. So every now and again, Campos needs to change it up and throw a few straight punches in there because it's those looping shots, hard to land on the inside. Goes over the head a lot or hits on the shoulders. He's not going to land in the head nearly as much as he wants to. At this point, I feel like Campos is just really counting on landing one of these big shots, landing a headshot, doing a lot of damage because you feel like he does hit very hard, but he's got to straighten some of those punches out, come with different angles, try and not be quite as predictable.
Well, Campos seemed as though he wasn't exactly sure where to start this round. Brought up to scratch by Edgar Lopez. And referee Edgar Lopez calls time, and here is the medical timeout. Second appearance of the night from Dr. Don Muzzi. Now the start of round number 4.
You see Campos on that back foot, just loading up, wanting to land that right hand.
There's a switch of stances that time. Campos catching Lopez in the switch.
He's right in that position. I'd like to see Campos really working that body. Lopez has that left hand all the way up around the neck. You could hit that body for days.
You see the cut under Lopez's left eye. That was the medical check from Dr. Muzzi. The clearance obviously from Dr. Muzzi. Now the right hand from Jose Lopez.
Just using that speed, hit and get out.
80 seconds remaining, round number 4. Hands high and tight for Jose Lopez coming forward. Switching stances again. Campos has largely been stationary, really trying to load up to do that, throw a big right hand from the orthodox stance. There's more movement to this point in the fight from Jose Lopez, and again, the continual switches of stance. Not getting through from Lopez. To the body, good right hand on the entry from Juan Campos.
And whenever Campos gets in and tries to start digging and throwing hard punches, Lopez does a great job of tying up.
Separation with some difficulty from Edgar Lopez. Lower stance now from Juan Campos. The jab. Feint on the jab that time from Jose Lopez. Right around the mouth now of the Venezuelan Juan Campos. Campos again, that's the second time he's done that, Chris. He feints to throw the overhand right to land the left hook. That second clack, closing stages, round number 4. Jose Lopez versus Juan Campos. We move to the 5th and final round.
Good end for Campos, but Lopez has done a very good job of controlling where this fight happens. He likes to stay all the way out or all the way in. See, when they get all the way in, Lopez grabs and ties up. There's some of the best work of the night from Campos, coming in with hard shots, but most of those are being blocked. And like I said, right there you can see how Lopez, every time he's all the way out, he's fine. He's all the way in, he's fine, he grabs. He doesn't want to stay in that middle zone, that mid-range. He doesn't want to stay there and trade punches with Campos because Campos is such a heavy-handed guy. Campos needs to stay in that range if he wants to win this fight. He's got to get in that range, and every time Lopez tries to get close, he's got to push him off and continue to throw punches.
Good sportsmanship, the full hug. Now the two fighters up to scratch. Round number 5. There's been one knockdown in this fight after a fast start. Round number 1 from Juan Campos. Jose Lopez settled in, landed a big left hand. It was a flash knockdown. Juan Campos up before the count of 1. But that is a 10-8 round across the board. Rounds 2, 3, and 4 certainly not as decisive when you think about the 3 judges' scorecards here in Puebla, Mexico, Chris. Overhand right on the entry from Juan Campos.
See, Campos right there, he could be hitting to the body. He's just not really taking advantage of the rules here.
Again, the heavy clinch. Good refereeing from Edgar Lopez. I've commentated a lot of boxing in Mexico where Lopez has been the referee. He's a really good boxing referee. He's doing well. It's just his second bout, his first card in BKFC. Keeping in control, keeping this fight moving. Edgar Lopez definitely understands the active clinch of bare knuckle fighting.
He's letting these guys work. The only thing is, they're not trying to work. They're just waiting for him to separate.
There's the jab getting through from Jose Lopez. There's that overhand right again on the entry from Juan Campos into the clinch. From the double overs of Jose Lopez. 30 seconds remaining in this fight.
You can tell this is a new sport for these guys. They're going to go back and watch. Hopefully they start learning how you can separate yourself in that clinch. Push off, frame out, land some easy punches. They're not using that right now.
Head chancery, guillotine position. That is illegal under this unified bare knuckle rule set. Again, the separation. Punch late, and now time called by Edgar Lopez. Recognizing the late punch by Juan Campos, time in immediately. Final seconds of this fight. There's the jab from Jose Lopez. Chest to chest comes Juan Campos, and that is the end of the fight.
Hard fought for both guys. Felt like that was all about range. Like when it was all the way out, Lopez was doing a good job. All the way in, he was tying up. Campos really had trouble getting into that mid-range, landing punches, and continuing to do so. He might land 1 or 2, but that was it.
And again, Jose Lopez landing the lone knockdown in this fight, that coming from the left hand in round number 1. You're watching BKFC Fight Night Mexico as we are live tonight in Puebla. Brought to you commercial-free by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Jose Lopez clearly feeling very good about his performance. The 14-fight pro MMA veteran, and this is BKFC debut. Juan Campos, the Venezuelan, playing to this Puebla, Mexico crowd.
Seems pretty fired up as well, Sean. You got to get the selfie.
Waiting the tallying of the 3 judges' scorecards. Well, it's a near certainty, Chris. The round number 1 is 10-8 across the board for Lopez because of that knockdown of Juan Campos. Lopez, though, as you were talking about, your immediate post-fight analysis, was very good with his range control in and out. Campos tried to be much more stationary, tried to land the right hand, sat back on it. Jose Lopez, more fluid in his movement, showed the footwork, continual switches of stance.
And when he got in to position he didn't like very well, he did a great job of negating it by just tying up. And Campos really didn't know what to do from that position. The more experience he gets, he's a guy with 28 MMA fights. I think he will learn what to do, push off, create space, land to that body. If he continued to land that body with those hard punches, he would make Lopez act different, or he would just keep hitting him until the referee would let it go, adding up points and winning that round.
Well, you see a lot of celebrating for both fighters, but
somebody's going to be.
Announcer Felipe De Maria has not yet read the judges' scorecards.
Somebody's going to be very disappointed, I think. A lot of pictures being taken.
South of Mexico City in Puebla, our first time for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship in Mexico since February 2019, BKFC 4.
And look at that, they exchange flags. That's a nice moment, Sean. It's amazing how people don't really realize. They think that fighters are all mean, bad people. Not the truth. Most of them are extremely nice people.
And you see the respect flowing in both directions between Jose Lopez and Juan Campos.
John, usually we always talk about the longer the wait in between this, it's usually not a unanimous decision, but
in this situation, I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't
Chris.
either, but that's usually the case.
19 out of 20 times that's the case. This is going to be the 1 out of 20. We shall see. Here's ring announcer Felipe De Maria.
Señoras y señores, después de 5 asaltos nos vamos a las tarjetas de los jueces. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone the distance, and after 5 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. The judge, Paul Andoris, scored the fight 48-46. The judge, Brian Miner, scored the fight 46-48. And the judge, Gerardo Cruz, scored the fight 47-47 to declare this bout a draw.
Wow. Sean, I'm a little shocked by that one, but
A split draw. So 48-46 Lopez, 48-46 Campos, and 47-47. Chris, with those scorecards in mind, if you negate that knockdown, the flash knockdown landed by Jose Lopez in round number 1, that's a Juan Campos victory.
So, I mean, I couldn't disagree more, but hey, that's what the judges saw. That's why you never really know.
Jose Lopez and Juan Campos fight to a split draw. BKFC Fight Night Mexico, coming to you live from Puebla, is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink, OnlyFans, Grunt Style Apparel, and by Forged Irish Stout.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is back in the UK. In the heavyweight main event showdown, witness smash mouth bare knuckle action when Bulgaria's Stanoy the Cobra Tabakov takes on Paul the Menace Venice. In the co-main event, the unbeaten Polish king Bartlomiej Kroll battles UK's own Pick the Molar Jardine. Plus many more explosive bare knuckle fights. The BKFC Prospect Series, where legends are born. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com. Friday, June 21st, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is back back with 3 world titles on the line. In the main event, 2 unbeaten titans collide when Kai Hefty Bag Stewart defends his featherweight championship against the hard-hitting Cuban warrior Brian El Gallo Duran. Plus, 2 more undefeated warriors fight as Keith Rockstar Richardson defends his bantamweight gold against the quickly rising Alberto Blas. Also, Jared Warren and Jomi Escobosa throw down for the vacant light heavyweight championship. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
Forged Irish Stout gives you the numbers for this bout at 155 pounds. Alberto Saniba versus Roberto Cinco.
Both these guys at 5'5", Sean. Saniba does have a 2-inch reach advantage. That's not very much for this weight class. Very similar on every other aspect of the tail of the tape.
From here in Puebla, Mexico, Roberto Cinco. Now set for his BKFC debut in the sport of bare knuckle. He is 2-0. In the sport of professional mixed martial arts, Roberto Cinco is 1-0. Cinco's second and most recent victory in the sport of bare knuckle fighting occurred April of last year when he defeated his opponent in this bout, Alberto Saniba, by way of 4-round split decision.
That could mean a lot. It could not mean very much. We'll have to see here. But beating somebody, sometimes it's very difficult to beat a guy twice, especially when it's a very close fight, a split decision like we had earlier. It's all going to be about adjustments. Who can do what they did the last fight, recognize and understand the things they did wrong, figure out the tendencies of their opponent and fix them. A lot of times it's difficult. If you got 2 guys about the similar skill level, it's hard to beat a guy twice in a row. The first guy really wants revenge. The guy who won thinks, oh, I got this. This is going to be an easy fight. Not always the case.
From Mexico City, Alberto Saniba. This is his BKFC debut. Saniba outside of BKFC has had 2 professional bare knuckle bouts. He's 1-1, and again that defeat April of last year, losing by way of 4-round split decision versus his opponent in this rematch, Roberto Cinco. Alberto Saniba has also had 25 pro MMA bouts.
A lot more experience for Saniba. Let's see, the main thing we're talking about here is that split decision loss. This guy's a veteran. He should have been able to pick up on a lot of what his opponent did the first time. Is he going to be able to correct that? Is he going to be able to do better? Is it already in his head that his opponent beat him, or is he looking for revenge? We're going to find out those answers here shortly.
To get us started, Felipe De Maria.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 5 rounds in the BKFC lightweight division. Señoras y señores, nuestro siguiente combate es de 5 asaltos de 2 minutos en la categoría de peso ligero de BKFC. And this fight is brought to you by, este combate es llevado a ustedes por Forged Irish Stout. Presentando primero, en la esquina roja, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, con una altura de 1,65 metros, peso oficial 155.9 libras. Presenting now, on the red corner, making his BKFC debut, his stance, 5 feet, 5 inches tall, official weight, 155.9 pounds. Fighting straight out of Puebla, Mexico, is Roberto SINKO. Su oponente, en la esquina roja, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, una altura de 1,65 metros, peso oficial 160.1 libras, presenting now, out of the blue corner, making his BKFC debut. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, official weight 160.1 pounds. Fighting straight out of Puebla, Mexico, is Alberto SANIBA. The referee in charge, Brian Miner.
The outstanding American referee, Brian Miner. Bringing both fighters up to scratch. You see the full handshake, the full sportsmanship between SANIBA and SINKO. Round number 1. Black trunks for Alberto SANIBA. Yellow trunks for Roberto SINKO. Very low stance for Roberto SINKO. Forward pressure, slightly so from Alberto SANIBA off the jab. Double jab on the entry from SINKO. Jab not there from SINKO. See the active lead hand from Roberto SINKO. SANIBA not reacting, 1-2 to the body. Of course, you can see SANIBA trying to time the in and out.
It's a very difficult style from SINKO, very low, coming in. The only thing they can really land is that left uppercut.
SINKO nearly took himself off balance with the left hook. 1 minute remaining, round number 1. Long jab just off the mark again from Roberto SINKO.
SANIBA leaning forward, looking like he needs to rock back as soon as the punch stone, rock back a little bit and then time that right hand. Otherwise, he's just getting into the punching range for some reason.
Now 35 seconds remaining, round number 1. SANIBA trying to come forward. Jab again from Roberto SINKO. There's the right hand. Jab to the body from Alberto SANIBA. Looks like walk forward pressure from SANIBA from a very wide stance. On the hook, not getting through. To the body. Bigger swings from both men. Final seconds, round number 1. There's a hard right hand that lands from SANIBA. SINKO walked right through it, and that ends the opening round.
Interesting first round. It seemed right at the beginning, SINKO was doing a good job of controlling the pace, throwing a lot of jabs, throwing a lot more punches. Towards the end, I feel like SANIBA did a great job of starting to really get in his range, find his pace, get into where his opponent was throwing punches and then counter him. Good little exchange there at the end. Both guys landed some of the best punches of the round for him. It's going to be interesting to see how the judges looked at that round, especially after the last fight we just saw. I have no idea what to think at this point.
That is a fair assessment, Chris.
I thought I was with them after the first fight. I said, okay, they're dialed in to the same thing I'm looking at. But after that last one, no, I'm not real sure.
Good, total line. Line. Ready? Knuckle up.
Called knuckle up from Brian Miner. Number 2 underway. Here in the lightweight division, Alberto SANIBA versus Roberto SINKO. Step in jab from SANIBA, jab right back from SINKO. And hand nearly getting through from SANIBA. 2 to the body. There's the naked 2 to the body from SANIBA.
I feel like SANIBA feels like he has a power advantage. He's just looking to get in there and land those hard shots.
SINKO working off the jab. Keeping a heavy front shoulder, Roberto SINKO. 2-1 now, hooks to the body, counter right hand from SANIBA. Big hook to the body with the right hand from Roberto SINKO. SINKO slapping his own chest, waving Alberto SANIBA forward. 50 seconds remaining, round number 2. See the step feint. Stepping jab not there from SINKO. Just again.
SANIBA doing a great job of parrying that jab, but he's not following up with anything. He needs to follow with that. As soon as he blocks it, come back with your own punch.
So a bit of gamesmanship from Alberto SANIBA after he took the right hand to the forehead from SINKO. Low stance, wide open striking guard for SANIBA. SINKO trying to take advantage. Getting late here in round number 2. There's the 10-second clack. On the right hand, hook to the body from SINKO. Left hand to the head from SANIBA. There is the bell.
Both guys seem like great sports after each round. Legitimate high fives. Good job, good round. It was a good left hand landed by SANIBA. And this definitely seems like another fight where SINKO is throwing the volume. He's throwing with speed. He's trying to land more punches. And I feel like SANIBA's landing with harder punches. It's going to be interesting to see how the judges are scoring that.
Good for that line. Ready, ready.
Full left-handed handshake between SANIBA and SINKO. So we start round number 3. And there is the jab. SINKO tried to sit down on the right hand, couldn't find it. Big swings, counter left and to the body. See the heavy feints, the heavy steps forward from SANIBA, trying to disrupt the rhythm and timing of Roberto SINKO. Good stiff jab from SANIBA. Jab right back from SINKO. 80 seconds remaining, round 3.
SANIBA staying very heavy on that front foot. Usually only do that when you're looking to counter. You're waiting for the step forward, then you rock back and fire your own right hand. He's not doing that.
Both fighters talking, both fighters smiling. Full-on conversation between SANIBA and SINKO now. SINKO trying to get his jab to the body. Stepping in with the right hand. Down on the canvas goes Alberto SANIBA, ruled as a slip immediately by Brian Miner. Good refereeing.
Yeah, I didn't think that came from a punch.
And there's that naked step into the naked right hand without the jab. Left hook gets through from SANIBA. Good, well timed on the jab from SANIBA. Right back from SINKO, couldn't fully land to the chest. Overhand right. And the uppercut, that turns out SANIBA. Big uppercuts again with the right hand. SINKO trying to open up final seconds, round number 3. On the full back pedal is SANIBA. We move to round 4.
And SINKO might very well have stole that round right at the end with a little flurry, low combination. And SANIBA just continued to back up the entire time. He didn't fire back. That's what leaves the last view in the judge's mind, that last few seconds.
On the island. Good to go? Okay.
Just what we talked about, backing up the entire time, taking punches, not firing back. I would say SINKO probably stole that, but at this point, who knows? Sean, this might be a first. If this goes the distance, I don't know if we've ever had a fight so if the first 3 fights of the night all go the distance.
Chris, I believe that you would be right in that. It's rare to get 3 in a row, and I think it is unprecedented if we open a BKFC card with 3 fights going the distance. Round number 4. Alberto SANIBA versus Roberto SINKO. See those heavy feint steps again from Alberto SANIBA. There's the right hand. SINKO trying to explode into the mid-range, couldn't find it. Slight swelling now under the left eye of SANIBA. Flick jab. Flick jab again from SINKO. SANIBA wide open striking guard now. He's been in that low stance since literally the start of this fight.
SANIBA just getting right in front of his opponent, heavy on that front foot, but then he's not countering as the opponent throws. It's very strange.
SINKO continuing to try to time the 2 without throwing the 1, just like that. There's the 1, the long jab from Roberto SINKO, but off the mark. On the roll under. Deep low stance for SINKO. A lot of gamesmanship, Chris, in the stances, in the movement, and the footwork with SANIBA and SINKO.
Both guys have had their moments of doing just that.
Right hand getting through from Roberto SINKO. 30 seconds remaining, round 4.
Definitely more active this round. It's SINKO trying to throw a lot more jabs. Control the pace, control the range, decide when and where the fight happens. That's what you have to do to win a lot of these close rounds, Sean.
SANIBA trying the time to step in jab as SINKO came forward. Roll under again, the right hand, entry to the mid-range, now into the pocket, and that is ruled a knockdown as SANIBA lands the right hand.
Whoa, that could be huge, Sean.
6.
Wow, that makes that a 10-8 round.
8. Good to go. Step. Good. Time. Go.
That could definitely make it where we have our second draw of the night.
That ends round number 4.
I mean, if you give SANIBA just one more round in that fight, that could make that a draw.
It's above the eye here. Hot.
And that was that the right hand that caused that, or was it a headbutt?
I believe it's the right hand.
He hit him with the headbutt and a right hand. Maybe the right hand landed because his head bumped into him, I'm not sure. But that was a huge knockdown. Or maybe it was nothing, we'll have to find out.
Chris, as Brian Miner was counting, I saw something I have never seen as a fan or a commentator in combat sports.
What's that?
Alberto SANIBA went and sat on his stool.
I'm tired. That's all we got, I'm done. This fight's over. I'm not standing up one more second. You're right, I can't even believe that they let him do that.
You cannot be saved by the bell in any round. So the round ended. SANIBA knew that either it was the end of the round or the end of the fight, and he just went and sat on his stool.
They're going again? Another round.
Well, this is round number 5.
Oh, I thought that was 6. I thought that was the end of the fight, Sean. I'm way off.
I think it's the sitting of the stool that threw everyone off.
Maybe that was it.
5th and final round underway. Alberto SANIBA landing what right now stands as the lone knockdown in this fight in the closing seconds of round number 4.
Let's see what that does for how these gentlemen fight. Let's see if there's more of a sense of urgency for SINKO.
That was debris in the ring, cleared by Brian Miner. His excellent officiating continues. See the movement of SANIBA. On On the left hand, there's the jab, double jab, big right hand. Not getting through the striking guard though of SINKO. SINKO coming forward. 65 seconds remaining, fifth and final round. To the body goes Roberto SINKO.
And it's those positions right there. And SINKO's winning this fight. And he continues to go combinations so SANIBA doesn't throw back.
SANIBA on the full back pedal. Right uppercuts. Big shots now coming from SANIBA. Big right hand on the hook to the body from SINKO into the clinch. 5 seconds remaining in this lightweight fight. Right hand, right uppercut from SINKO. That was slick. SINKO back to the jab. SANIBA rolling through, almost a back fist sneaking through from SANIBA. Not legal and spotted and warned as such by Brian Miner.
You can tell SANIBA tired at this point.
Overhand right. Big swings from SINKO off the mark. Alberto SANIBA on the full back pedal. SINKO coming forward, mirroring the hips of Alberto SANIBA. And that is the end of the fight. So one knockdown, that's round number 4 in the closing seconds. The right hand of SANIBA dropping Roberto SINKO.
And there was a few times in that round I felt like SINKO might get a knockdown. He landed a lot of good punches. That was his best round in my opinion.
Again, April of last year, the sport of bare knuckle, but not in BKFC, here in Mexico. Roberto SINKO defeating Alberto SANIBA. It was a 4-round bare knuckle fight. SINKO winning by split decision. Now in BKFC, this bare knuckle fighting rematch. Alberto SANIBA, Roberto SINKO going the 5-round distance.
Sean, and that is our 3rd fight in a row. Starting the card, going the distance.
Again, our judges this evening have been assigned by Mexico Professional MMA Commission. Tallying of those 3 judges' scorecards now.
A lot of mutual respect for these fighters. Both guys high-fiving after each round. Great respect with the corners afterwards.
The knockdown, SANIBA recorded in round number 4 as he dropped Roberto SINKO with the right hand. In terms of the result of this fight, could mean everything, could mean nothing.
I'm hesitant to even guess after my performance from the last fight. So.
Not often are we shocked in professional combat sports. I believe you and I were both shocked.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way. But
that was in our previous bout. A split draw ruled between Jose Lopez and Juan Campos, bantamweight division. Jose Lopez had 1 knockdown in that fight. That was in round number 1 of Juan Campos. And again, 1 knockdown in this fight. Alberto SANIBA dropping Roberto SINKO in round 4. We send it into the ring with Felipe De Maria.
Señoras y señores, después de 5 asaltos nos vamos a las tarjetas de los jueces. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone the distance, and after 5 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. Judge Glenn scored the fight 48-46 for SINKO. Dan Marguera scored the fight 48-46 for SINKO. And Judge Lopez scored the fight for 48 for SANIBA to declare the winner by split decision to Roberto SINKO.
So for the 2nd time, these guys fight to a split decision for SINKO. apparently that knockdown had zero to do with the outcome. Thought it might mean everything, Sean, and it meant nothing.
It absolutely meant nothing in the result of this fight. Alberto SANIBA dropping Roberto Sinko in round number 4. What stands as the lone knockdown in this fight. But it does not matter. Roberto Sinko, 48-46 on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards. The winner by way of split decision, Roberto Sinko defeats Alberto SANIBA.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
People that are missing it are missing out big time.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare-knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Friday, May 31st, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back with another explosive night of fights. In the main event, Keegan Vandermeer tries to get back to his winning ways when he scraps with a powerhouse who hasn't lost a fight in 2 years, Sawyer DP. In the co-main event, 2 unbeaten titans collide, but only one can emerge victorious as Andrew Strode knuckles up with Dom the Bomb Carey. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
Grunt Style Apparel brings you our tale of the tape for this bout in the middleweight division. Sergio Perez versus Mario Martinez.
Common theme tonight, Sean, almost identical. 1 inch height difference, exact same reach. Even the fist size, only 1 centimeter off. These guys are very similar on tail of the tape.
This is bout number 1 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship for Mario Martinez. His 2nd overall in the sport of bare knuckle fighting. He's also had 4 professional boxing matches.
A little bit of experience there, having the 1 bare knuckle, that should be good. Understands what it's like to get hit with the bare knuckle plus the 4 boxing. That shows he's been in the ring for a long time. You don't just go right pro. Typically, you've had some amateur fights. You've been in the ring for many years, in their training, understanding the boxing technique. So hopefully he's done his due diligence, he's done his work. He's been around for a while. He's going to be ready to fight.
Sergio Perez now set for his BKFC debut. Perez is 1-0 in the sport of bare knuckle fighting.
And Sean, another amazing thing to me, we have people, this is their pro combat debut. You know, he's 1-0. He's fought bare knuckle, but that's all he's done. He hasn't done boxing, he hasn't done MMA. We have people now, this is their sport of choice. You know, they don't want to come in. I was a boxer first, I moved over. This is what they want to do, and this is what we have with Perez.
We're seeing that in the U.S. and Canada, and we're certainly seeing that in Mexico as well as globally for BKFC.
All right, Sean, with our first 3 fights, we've had unanimous decision, we've had a
split draw and a split decision.
Let's see, maybe we'll get a knockout one of these times. What do you think? TKO, who knows? Stop, do the cut. Let's try and get everything. Let's try and get the hat trick, get everything.
These are two powerfully built 175-pounders, Sergio Perez and Mario Martinez. We send it to Felipe De Maria.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 5 rounds in the BKFC Middleweight Division. Señoras y señores, nuestro siguiente combate es de 5 asaltos de 2 minutos en la categoría de peso medio de BKFC. In this fight, it's brought to you by, este combate es llevado a ustedes por Grand Style Apparel. Presentando primero, en la esquina roja, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, una altura de 1,70 m, peso oficial 172.1 libras. Presenting now on the red corner, making his BKFC debut, his stance 5 feet 7 inches tall, official weight 172.1 pounds. Fighting straight out of Puebla, Mexico, is Mario Malandro Martinez. Su oponente en la esquina azul, haciendo su debut dentro de BKFC, con una altura de 1,67 m, peso oficial 172.7 libras. Presenting now on the blue corner, making his BKFC debut, his stance 5 feet 6 inches tall, official weight 172.7 pounds. Fighting straight out of Jalisco, Mexico, is Sergio Cachorro Perez. The referee in charge, Dan Mergliara.
Time already called by referee Dan Mergliata, and it's an issue with one of the ring ropes.
Rope just broke.
Dan Mergliata was giving his final instructions to Sergio Perez and Mario Martinez. And an issue, as you see, with the rope. Second from the top.
Well, let's hope they can fix that quickly, Sean. These guys are ready to go. I know we've had it where they had ring problems, where we had a 10-minute delay. Those guys, the fighters, you just have to sit there and think about it and wait. Try and stay warm. Try and get that sweat going still, because you don't want to go out there totally dry. You get out there dry, easy to get knocked down right away.
So the ring rope is being sorted out here at Teatro Explanada in Puebla, Mexico. It's BKFC Fight Night. Our second ever bare knuckle fighting championship card in Mexico, and our first since February 2019. The issue with the ring rope has been sorted. Call of knuckle up from Dan Mergliata, round number 1. Black trunks for Sergio Perez. Yellow trunks for Mario Martinez. Fast jab immediately from Martinez. There's the counter right hand from Perez. And it's high and tight. You see the head movement from Sergio Perez coming forward. Tree on the left hand from Martinez. Big left hook, swings in the pocket.
Both guys looking very composed, very relaxed. Looks like a step up from the last couple fights. These guys look very good.
Last jab from Martinez. He was parried by Perez. Left hand counter right hand on the inside. 70 seconds remaining, round number 1. We are at 175 pounds. Jab right back from Mario Martinez. Big right hand, and down goes Sergio Perez.
Just a beautiful counter right hand.
There's the mandatory 8 count given to Sergio Perez by Dan Mergliata.
Let's see if Martinez tries to step on the gas, try and get the finish immediately.
To the jab goes Mario Martinez. The inside left hook from Perez.
Looks like Martinez recognized, and I think correctly, that that was just a flash knockdown.
And they're on the inside, right hand from Sergio Perez. Martinez now with his back against the ring ropes. And the shuffle step. Closing seconds, round number 1. Left hand on the entry, right hand from Sergio Perez. Chest to chest, there is the bell. We move to round 2.
I was very impressed with Martinez's eyes in that situation. His eyes saw the punches coming, his head movement, he was able to get out of the way. Good punches being thrown by Perez, but it doesn't matter. Martinez is moving that head in that manner. His eyes saw the punch coming, and they avoided those punches from being landed by Perez. It was a great job for Martinez. There was just that little counter right hand. He saw his opponent come in with a jab. Little counter right hand over the top. Perfectly timed. So we talk a lot about reach and range, but the thing that's more important than either of those is timing. Timing, when your timing's impeccable, I don't care how tall you are, how long you are, how much reach you have, that is the most important part.
Chris, we saw beautiful timing. That Mario Martinez right hand that sat down Sergio Perez. Dan Murglietta looking very closely at that rope. No issues. Round number 2. See the open hands of Sergio Perez looking to parry. Martinez, good entry right hand. Now into the clinch comes Sergio Perez. Perez on the right hand coming forward again with the left hook. Left hook just misses from Mario Martinez. Left hand getting through from Martinez.
Martinez really trying to concentrate on that left hook. Every time a right hand for Perez is thrown, that left hook's coming immediately for Martinez.
Jab from Martinez. Right hand, good left hand from Martinez. Slick combination. It's a long jab from Mario Martinez. Double jab, that was audacious rear right uppercut from Martinez. He missed, but the idea was there. 1 minute remaining, round number 2. Martinez back to the jab, back to the left hand goes Sergio Perez. Perez trying to time the 1-2. Fighters in the center circle. Left hand from Sergio Perez, trying to turn up the temperature, lands that left hand on the exit. Flip jab from Mario Martinez. Martinez trying to sit down on the right hand, but the right hand getting through from Perez. Martinez again trying to time the jab from range. Slight forward pressure now from Mario Martinez.
Martinez once again using that forward pressure, just waiting for his opponent to throw so he can counter.
To the inside, there's the right hand and the right uppercut from Perez. Right to the body, overhand right from Martinez after Perez landed. That ends round 2.
Good comeback round for Perez there. Got knocked down the first round. It could have been very dangerous if he comes out and gets knocked down again, so he did a very good job of really pushing the pace, making it hard and uncomfortable for Martinez. Martinez is a very slick boxer out there, great head movement. You can't sit there and trade punches with him and fight his game. You have to make it uncomfortable for him. And that's exactly what Perez was able to do in that round.
And Murglietta bringing both fighters up to scratch. Murgliata continues to closely watch that ring rope. Round number 3. One knockdown thus far in this fight. And Martinez dropping Sergio Perez. He's in the first round. There's a big right hand and the left hand from Martinez, overhand left. Counter left hand again to the body goes Sergio Perez, walking through those big shots.
I'm really liking the left hook of Martinez. He throws it early and often. As soon as he sees a punch being thrown, he's landing that left hook.
On the duck under, well timed from Sergio Perez. Perez to the inside, good body work on the combination.
We haven't seen much body work tonight. He's doing a good job as Perez of landing those body shots. Slow ease your opponent down.
Quick separation from Murgliata. 70 seconds remaining, round 3. See the measuring from both fighters. Perez trying to find the step-in jab.
Martinez is just looking for an opportunity to throw that left hook.
Threw it there, leapt in, couldn't time it.
Waiting for Perez.
Big right hand.
As soon as Perez is throwing that right hand, I guarantee that left hook's coming from Martinez.
Now 30 seconds remaining, round 3. See the feints from both fighters. The jab not getting through for Martinez. Ever so slightly, Sergio Perez trying to cut the ring. See the stationary movements of Mario Martinez off the jab. Martinez planting his feet, moving his upper body. Now into the clinch. There is the bell as we move to round 4.
Good job of Perez for getting inside, staying away from that left hook, working the body, pushing Martinez around. That's what he needs to do to win this fight. Those left hands has been the best aspect of Martinez's game. There's the body work we talked about.
Both fighters up to scratch, 3 feet apart. Round number 4. Slight swelling under Perez's left eye as we start the 4th round. Perez coming forward. Martinez trying to throw big from the overhook to the body with the right hand goes Sergio Perez.
Letting him fight in there.
Good left hook. Counter on the inside on the left hook from Sergio Perez. Now the right hand on the left hand. Roll under left hand through again. Sergio Perez trying to definitely turn up the pressure here in round number 4. Call for action from Dan Murgliata. A hook to the head. Perez landed that cleanly. Now a big left hand from Sergio Perez. Perez to the body. There's the overhook from Mario Martinez, trying to get the separation from Murgliata, and he does.
Martinez still typically just waiting. He'll throw the occasional jab. He's just waiting for his opponent to come in so he can throw that left hook or try to counter with that overhand right like he got the knockdown early.
See the feint step of Sergio Perez. There's the right uppercut from Mario Martinez, then the right hand from Perez, right hand again. 15 seconds remaining, round 4.
That's exactly what Perez needs to do. When you got a guy who's countering, you keep pushing forward. You can't just wait till he counters and then let him get out of it. Keep pushing the pace, push him backwards the entire time, makes it difficult to counter.
The bell, we move to the 5th and final round.
There's that left hook. It's again for Martinez, but this is exactly what Perez needs to do. Stay inside that left hook range where you can continue to counter, or continue to lead, I should say. Because you know Perez is going to get inside, and as he gets inside, Martinez is going to throw that left hook, that check left hook counter.
Okay, final round, gentlemen. Corners out. Good fight, guys. Come on inside. You want to touch?
5th and final round, Sergio Perez versus Mario Martinez.
Ready? Final round. Buckle up.
Sporting touch of hands. And a forward pressure off of scratch from Sergio Perez to the body. Perez perhaps sensing some urgency as he was on the bad side of the lone knockdown in this fight. Recorded by Mario Martinez. And that was in round number 1. Big right hand from Perez.
So I don't think either guy so far who's got the knockdown has won a decision yet.
Left hand getting through from Martinez. Active with the jab is Perez. Heavy front shoulder now as Mario Martinez comes forward. High and tight for Sergio Perez. See the swelling under the left eye of Martinez. Overhand left from Perez, not there. Step in right hand from Martinez. Right hand trying the time to half tie plunge Sergio Perez. Couldn't snatch it. Trickle of blood outside of Martinez's left brow. Big swing on the step in right hand again from Mario Martinez. 50 seconds remaining in this fight. 1-2 from Martinez, hook to the body from Perez. Perez on the right hand.
More body work being done by Perez, great job.
There's the jump in left hook from Mario Martinez. Martinez back to the jab, right hand, counter right hand from Perez. Sergio Perez forward off the double jab, then the right hand, driving back Mario Martinez against the ring ropes. The 10-second clock, stretch drive of this fight. Right uppercut from Martinez. Overhand right, left hook on the duck under. And that is the end of this fight.
Man, another very entertaining fight, Sean, but that's 3-4 fights in a row now, going the distance, the first 4 of the night.
You're watching the return of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship to Mexico. It's BKFC Fight Night Mexico from Puebla. Brought to you all evening long, commercial free by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
Sean, this could be another first for us. If Perez wins this fight, that'll be 3 out of the first 4 fights where the guy who gets knocked down still comes back to win the fight.
Martinez
right
knocking down Sergio Perez in round number 1. Proved to be the lone knockdown in this fight.
I take that back. The first one was a draw, but the guy didn't lose. Let's say it. The guy who got knocked down didn't lose. We'll move to that.
Tallying of the 3 judges' scorecards. Our strike stats are presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
And wow, when you look at this, a lot more punches being thrown, 185 to 97, and just the accuracy is fairly similar, but man, a lot more punches being thrown and landed by Perez. Definitely the busier fighter. I mean, Martinez was perfect with his attempts with the body, but he only threw 8 body shots.
Chris, another delay. Could we have something other than a unanimous decision?
Sure, why not?
Already this evening, split decision and a split draw before that. Martinez feeling very good about his performance. We shall see. We go to Felipe De Maria.
Señoras y señores, después de 5 asaltos, nos vamos a las tarjetas de los jueces. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. Judge Minor scored the fight 47-47. Judge Glenn scored the fight 46-48. And Judge Lopez scored the fight 47-47. This bout is declared a majority draw.
Well, what do you think there, son? We've had them all now. That was a majority draw. We had a split draw, majority draw. We're trying to hit everything.
So the knockdown recorded by Mario Martinez in round number 1. Had it not been for that knockdown, this is a Sergio Perez victory. Instead, the knockdown makes this a majority draw. One judge seeing it 48-46 for Martinez, the other 2 judges seeing it even. Sergio Perez and Mario Martinez fight to a majority draw.
Saturday, June 8th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back in the UK. In the heavyweight main event showdown, witness smash mouth bare knuckle action when Bulgaria's Stanoy the Cobra Tabakov takes on Paul the Menace Venice. In the co-main event, the unbeaten Polish king Bartlomiej Kroll battles UK's own Pick the Molar Jardine. Plus many more explosive bare knuckle fights. The BKFC